Oh boy, I'm back, guys. It's another Sunday, which means I have finally read the whole book. It's finished. I've just got to wait for Amazon to send me the next book, Fetch, which was supposed to arrive like 3 weeks ago, and it's still not here. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get the book as soon as possible, unless we skip a Sunday. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to do them every week. But this next story, guys, is pretty dark, okay? Count the ways. It's dark. And I'm going to warn you right now. I'd say this one's the most sensitive out of the other two. Into the Pit was fine. To Be Beautiful was pretty dark. Because, you know, Sarah got killed. But this one's dark, guys, okay? Just letting you know that. So if you're a bit sensitive to things like that, I'm warning you now, it's pretty dark, okay? Which surprised me. When I was reading through it, guys, I was like, oh my god, did that just really happen? Did you just really say that? So yeah, non-spoiler review, guys. I'll give you guys a little bit of backstory if you're not interested in watching the whole video. Count the ways. My voice is going, guys. Hold on. In a long day, guys, okay? I've had to record like 3 videos. I've read the book all in one day. It's really late here as well. I'm very tired, but it's got to be done. So Count the Ways is about a girl called Millie. And Millie is obsessed with death. Millie is a goth. And she's 14 years old, and she's obsessed with death and dying. She's miserable in her life. She doesn't like the situation she's in life at the moment. She's got to live with her grandpa for a year. Her mom and dad have left her to go to Saudi Arabia for a job opportunity. Millie's lonely at school. She's obsessed with poems about death. She always thinks about her dying. And like death as this handsome figure who's going to take her away and make her be at peace. So yeah, stuff like that. It's pretty dark, guys. Like I said, sensitive subject. Her grandpa's a collector, guys. Her grandpa collects a bunch of old tatty stuff from scrapyards and stuff. You can see where this is going. In the garage there is a Time Freddy, and that's all I'm going to say, okay? The grandpa has collected Time Freddy from a scrapyard, and that's all I'm going to say, okay? I really liked this one, honestly. I didn't like the ending. The ending to me was a bit like, oh, great. It ended on a cliffhanger, guys, which I didn't like. It was like there was some boring parts in this, but most of it was interesting. And I'll give this one about a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but there were some boring parts, and there was a cliffhanger at the end, which I didn't really like. But yeah, spoiler time, guys. I'm going to do a big summary about the book. Get ready. It's dark. It's interesting. It's about Time Freddy. So yeah, again, guys, I've wrote loads of notes, loads and loads of notes. I actually wrote it in a book this time instead of pages, like big pages. Lots of notes, guys. Okay? And also, guys, I need to talk about something at the end of the book. At the end of the book, guys, there is another story at the end about the secret character named Stitch Wraith, okay? You need to know. If you've watched the previous 2 videos, you need to know about this last part, okay, guys? It's about a character called the Stitch Wraith, and it connects the other stories all together, okay? It's good. You need to listen to that part, okay? I'll put it all, you know, at the start, guys. I've got a big summary thing at the start so you guys can know. Okay, here's the summary, guys. I'm going to try and make this a bit more shorter because, like I said, there's a lot of boring things in this. I'll be real with you guys. Okay, the main character is called Millie Fitzsimmons, okay? She's a goth girl and she likes dreaming about death. Like, she's obsessed with death, okay? In this story, guys, it keeps switching back between 2 timelines. One is the present time, which I'll talk about in a second. And the second is in the past, about Millie's life and some Millie in the past and stuff, going to school and stuff, okay? The present time, guys, right at the start of the story, it starts with Millie being trapped inside Time Freddy's chest cavity, okay? Funtime Freddy in sister location and the other sister location animatronics have a big chest cavity where they can trap people inside the chest and lock them inside for them to die and get killed and taken away into the sister location. Okay? We know that already. If you guys didn't know that, there you go. Funtime Freddy has a big chest cavity where he grabs kids and stuff and shoves them inside his stomach for them to be killed. Okay? So Millie is trapped inside Funtime Freddy's stomach, okay? Now, you guys need to imagine, right, Millie being trapped inside a big stomach. Think of like an egg dome, right? And she looks up and she sees two silver eyes roll back and to see two blue bright eyes now, okay? So pretend that you're in a stomach cavity and you see two eyes roll back. You can see inside the suit, right? And Funtime Freddy can roll his eyes back so he can watch Millie inside of the suit, okay? Here's a picture of SpongeBob. There's a picture, it reminded me of SpongeBob when SpongeBob rolls his eyes back into his brain and sees plankton inside. Think of that, okay? So Millie's stuck inside and Funtime Freddy can roll his eyes back to watch her. So Millie straight away goes, "You're the bear." So Millie wakes up because Millie willingly goes inside Funtime Freddy's chest cavity, okay? Funtime Freddy doesn't trap her inside. Millie willingly goes inside Funtime Freddy's chest, which again I'll explain later on because this is a summary, guys, from the start to the end. I'll just say it now, guys. Millie goes into Funtime Freddy's chest cavity because a grandpa and a family are having a party, a Christmas party, and she doesn't want to be there. She wants to, like, go away, so she goes in the garage to hide, and then she goes inside Funtime Freddy's stomach because it's open and, you know, it's a place to hide in there. So that's why she willingly goes inside. Funtime Freddy is twisted, guys, okay? When you read this story and hear this summary, Funtime Freddy is completely screwed up in this story, guys, okay? We always thought Funtime Freddy was a bit creepy and stuff, but never like this, okay? I can't really do a Funtime Freddy voice, but like he says, "You can just think of me as a friend. Your friend till the end." It's so horrible, guys, because Funtime Freddy has been in the house for a while, and Millie's been in the house for a while living with her grandpa, and he knows that she wants to die, and she's talking about death and stuff all the time. Funtime Freddy knows that Millie's obsessed with death, and Funtime Freddy wants to kill her because that's his job. You know, that's what the stomach's made for, to kill people. But Funtime Freddy's really dark with this, guys. Funtime Freddy says, like, "I can kill you slowly. I can kill you quickly. How do you want to die? How do you want to die, Millie? I'll give you some choices to make. I'll kill you, but I'll give you the choice." And some of the things he says later on are really bad. And then Funtime Freddy's like, "You goth girls crack me up. I'm gonna make your dreams come true." So yeah, Funtime Freddy's really weird in this. Funtime Freddy wouldn't let her out. Millie was like, "Let me go." No, Funtime Freddy wouldn't let her out. She's trapped inside the chest now. The chest won't open. Funtime Freddy's locked her inside the chest, okay? So like I said, guys, it jumps from cuts. So that was it. After that, so Freddy says, like, "I'm going to give you some options on how to die. You know, you can choose how you want to die. I'll give you some options." Doesn't say what options yet. Stops. Then it goes back in time to Millie. So, you know, just some backstory about Millie now, guys. Like I said, it's a bit confusing with this one because I have to, like, go back here and then back here, back here. So, yeah, like I said, guys, Millie hates her name. She gets called Silly Millie. Funtime Freddy even calls her Silly Millie. She decides to stay with her grandpa, like I said, instead of going with her parents to Saudi Arabia for a year. Her grandpa lives in a big house. He likes collecting things, hubcaps, playing models, armor, samurais, dolls, taxidermied cats, stuff like that in a big house. He's a collector. Like I said, Millie doesn't eat. She's not happy with her life. She tells her grandpa, like, I'm glad I'm not happy. She's obsessed with death, poems about death. She wants to have a date with death. She thought death was a handsome black coat stranger. She's obsessed with a band member called Kurt Carrion. And then she wrote a poem, guys. I'm going to tell you the poem right now. This is how obsessed Millie is, guys, with death. Oh, death, show me now your ravaged face. Oh, death, how I long for your chilly embrace. Oh, death, my life is such a misery that only you can set me free. So, you know, Millie is, you know. Now we're back with Funtime Freddy, okay? So, the first option Funtime Freddy gives Millie is to let nature take its course. Slow, with lots of suffering, okay? Just let her die. Don't do anything, just let her starve, get dehydrated inside the stomach, okay? But the thing is, it goes into detail about it. Funtime Freddy goes into detail about starving and how the body has fascinating effects when it's dehydrated. And he says it's glamorous and romantic how the body's organs shut down. And it's really, really deep, guys, honestly. I'm not even kidding. Like, how Funtime Freddy knows about all this stuff is really weird. Okay, and again, it gets weirder later on when he talks about the other options of death. He knows everything about them. It's really weird. Millie gets scared now, guys. Millie thinks, oh crap, I might actually die here. And of course, Millie didn't really want to die. And then Funtime Freddy says this.
I like you, Millie. I'm here to make your wishes come true. Like a genie, but you're trapped in the bottle.
And he laughs and stuff. When he laughs, it's so creepy, guys. You have to picture this. Millie being trapped in the stomach, two eyes watching her and talking to her about dying. When he laughs, guys, the whole body like rattles when he laughs. It's so creepy. And then he talks about starvation. Is another classic of a way to die inside of him. He knows about how it happens. You know, the body's energy starts to go, the organs start to fail, the fat goes away from your body. You know, it's horrible. And Millie thinks, oh, if I scream, my grandpa can save me anyway. So, yeah, I'll take that. I'll starve to death because I'll just scream and my grandpa will eventually find me. And Funtime Freddy's like, no, scream. He says this.
Scream all you want, lamb chop. It's soundproof. No one will hear you.
So, yeah. It's weird. Funtime Freddy is very weird with Millie. Like, Funtime Freddy calls Millie lamb chop and cupcake and sweetie. It's really creepy. And again, guys, it cuts back to the personal life. She gets bullied at school. She gets called Dracula's daughter. Millie's family was a joke in the town because they always had failed projects. Like her parents bought stores and they always failed, and they bought a house and they couldn't finish the decoration because they had no money left. She's not happy with her family. She's not happy with her life. She's a social outcast. Lost her closest friend to the popular girls at the school. Her best friend ditched her for the popular girls. And they all laugh at Millie. But now, guys, there is a sign of hope for Millie, which is really nice. I liked this part. A boy called Dylan, new to the school, says hi to Millie, sits with Millie, same topic. So he's a goth as well, guys. His nails are painted black. He's dyed his hair red. He's got a black leather jacket. They like the same topics. They both like each other. And Dylan says, like, hey, do you want to see each other again tomorrow? And she says, yeah. So, you know, something good is finally happening with Millie. A reason to live. Back to Funtime Freddy, guys. next torture device is freezing Millie to death. Funtime Freddy says he can turn off his space heaters and freeze Millie to death. Okay? Funtime Freddy has heaters on, okay, to keep him running. And he says, I'll turn them off and I'll freeze you to death. You'll be that cold inside my chest cavity that you'll just freeze to death. But he says, oh, I can't do that because your grandpa will come in and investigate what's going on because he always keeps me turned on. So he says, no, we won't do that. I can't freeze you to death. I won't turn off my heaters. It's so weird. And Millie's like, why do you want to do this to me? Why do you want to kill me? And Funtime Freddy just goes, it's something to do. Funtime Freddy's been sat in the salvage yard for ages. It doesn't say how long, but again, it's another salvage yard, okay? Just like Eleanor in the previous story, guys. Funtime Freddy was scrapped in the scrapyard, okay? And her grandpa finds Funtime Freddy in the scrapyard, salvages him, and takes him to his workshop, the garage in the big house, okay? Because the grandpa likes collecting things. He goes around scrapyards and stuff to try and find things that he can repair. And he found Funtime Freddy, took him, and placed him in the workshop. And Funtime Freddy says that. He says, oh, it's something to do. I've been at the scrapyard for ages, and I'm bored out of my skull. He literally says he's bored. Funtime Freddy, a robot, says he is bored. So he wants to kill somebody again. And Funtime Freddy says, death is what you want. You've been mooning around since you've moved here. So, like I said, guys, at the start, Funtime Freddy knows that Millie wants to die. He's been listening to what she's been doing and stuff in the kitchen, talking about dying and being unhappy and stuff like that. I like to kill people, and you want to die. It's a mutually beneficial relationship. So there you go. Funtime Freddy's like, and yeah, I want to kill you. I like to kill people, and you want to die. So it works out. And Millie says, this is really creepy, guys. Like, Millie says to Funtime Freddy, but I don't really want to die. And what does Funtime Freddy do? He laughs. His stomach, guys, just laughs. He doesn't say anything. He just laughs. So nasty, so twisted, isn't it? Back to pastime. Millie had a really good day at school today after meeting Dylan. And she had a good dinner as well. But she didn't want to admit to her grandpa that she's happy. And this is where things start to get better for Millie, guys, okay? And it's nice, you know, I actually feel happy for Millie at this point in time. The grandpa's wife, Millie's grandma, died a long time ago, okay? Years and, like, before Millie was born. You know, the grandpa's reminiscing, the grandma, you know, talking about death, in a lighter tone, not like it being, not the way Millie thinks about death, okay? Death is more like, sadness, you know? And this is what, the grandpa says to Millie. It's easy to romanticize death when you're young and it's so far away. So yeah, Millie's always on about death, but that's because she's young. She hasn't experienced death before, hasn't seen people who she knows die before. So she doesn't take it as seriously, right? The poems that Millie reads, guys, the ones about death, the grandpa reads the same poems, but in a different tone. The poet of the poems didn't write about death because he thought it was romantic. He wrote about death because he lost so many people he loved. You've never experienced that kind of loss before, Millie. It changes you. So yeah, you can see where this is going, guys, okay? So Millie used to be obsessed with death, wanting to die, all the poems about death. Now she's happier. Now the grandpa is saying, no, it's not all like that. Think about it in this way. So yeah, you can see now, guys, that Millie's starting to change her ways about, you know, the way she thinks about death. Back to Funtime Freddy, guys, and Funtime Freddy says, for someone who doesn't want to die, you talk about it a lot. And, you know, Millie, like I said, realises that she doesn't want to die and she just wanted a better life. You know, that's what she says to Funtime Freddy. You know, I don't actually want to die. I was just unhappy with my life and I wanted it to be changed. I didn't mean the things I was saying. But Funtime Freddy goes, well, it's easier and more satisfying just to snuff it out. Just to die. You know, it's better to just die than to try and fix things and try and sort your life out. Why not just die? So yeah, Funtime Freddy is bad. It's a bad person. And now, guys, he talks about another way of death. Impaling Millie with a rod. He talks about Vlad the Impaler. Which is how Dracula came. You know, talked about Millie being called Dracula's daughter. Funtime Freddy knows this. And, like, says, oh, you know about Dracula. Vlad the Impaler, Vlad Dracula, had a forest of the impaled. Men, women, and children were skewered through stakes driven into the ground. How does Funtime Freddy know all about this? For a start, Funtime Freddy knows everything. Every type of death, Funtime Freddy knows information about it. Getting impaled in Funtime Freddy's chest, he knows about a previous person who did it, Vlad the Impaler, who killed men, women and kids in a forest. And he says, oh, one little impaling can't be that hard compared to Vlad the Impaler. And he said, I can just grab one of my rods in my body and stab it through my chest and it will go straight through you, Millie. Straight through you. I'll grab one of my rods from my chest cavity and I'll just poke it through, stab it through, and you'll be dead. It can either hit vital organs and you'll die straight away, or I might miss and it will hit other parts of your body and you'll just bleed out and it will be a slow, painful death. And he was very cheery about talking about it that way, excited. Funtime Freddy is so weird, guys. Like, literally, I'm talking about it now, so you can see, I know. But the way he's talking about killing Millie, he's like excited about it and goes into detail. Thinks about everything. So, I'll grab the rod, I'll stab you, I might hit vital organs, and you'll die quickly, or I'll hit other parts and you'll just bleed out to death. Do you know what I mean? And he's giggly about it, he's cheering about it. Back to the past, guys. Dylan is back at the cafeteria, gives her a book, gives her a new book from H.P. Lovecraft. It seems like they both like each other. And she goes home and she loves the book. She really likes the book. So you can see now, guys, Millie is getting feelings for Dylan. And she thinks that Dylan likes her as well because, you know, Dylan's gave her a book and they're talking all the time. Dylan asks if they want to go out and stuff like that. So Millie thinks that he likes her and she likes him. She goes back home and she Googles love poems. So you can you see the switch now, guys? At first, she was looking at death poems, Googling death poems in her bedroom. And now she's Googling love poems. You can see now her mind is off death. It's gone now, slowly going away. She's getting happier now. Now she starts thinking about love and stuff like that. The name of the story, guys, is Count the Ways. It's even referred to in the book, guys. There's a love poem, and there's a quote here. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. So I was like, yeah, well, that's the name of the story. I just wanted to let you guys know. And again, guys, Millie writes her own poem again. You clipped away the black thorny vines that twisted around my wounded heart, so it could beat and feel relief from pain. You are the gardener who wakes the plants from the grey, chilly death of winter, so that they can blossom again like my heart, a slow blooming blood red rose. The poem's on about Dylan saving her, okay? You've came over here, Dylan. I used to be so miserable. Now I'm not. Thanks to you, Dylan, I'm happy again. Back to Funtime Freddy. The next death on Funtime Freddy's brain is electrocution. Okay? Funtime Freddy knows everything about electrocution. He talks about the electric chair and in the prisons and stuff. It's crazy. He knows everything about the history of these executions, okay? And yes, Funtime Freddy can use electrocution to kill Millie. He can shoot strong electrical currents through the body of his chest. Because he's a robot, he's electric. He can actually electrocute his insides to kill Millie. And again, he talks about the consequences. It can either zap her heart and brain and she dies instantly, or she can get nasty electrocution burns and slowly die. And he jokes about it as well. Like, see what I mean? He talks about it in detail and goes, it can either do this, it can either do that. It could be an electrifying good time. And Millie's like really scared now. Millie's like, it'd be a good time for you, but not for me. Back to the past again, guys. You can see how much it switches, okay? In the quick summary, guys, all I'm going to talk about is the Funtime Freddy stuff, okay? To make your brains a bit less, make it a little less complicated, because I know I'll keep switching. But in the quick summary, guys, I'll just talk about the scenes with Funtime Freddy. Millie goes to the public library and Dylan's there. And Dylan asks if they want to go to the cafe for a cup of tea. Millie's getting happy now. Millie talks about her future, how she wants to be a librarian. You can see now, Millie's not talking about death and dying, this is the end. She starts talking about what she wants to do in the future. Things are looking good for Millie, guys, okay? Good. Until this part, guys, unfortunately. So, she goes back home. Like I said, guys, it's close to Christmas, the Christmas party and stuff like that, which we talk about later on. Millie's grandpa asks if she wants to come along to a party at the school. It's like an end of school holiday party where everybody goes and, have cookies and stuff and food. And Millie decides to go because she's happy, Normally she'd say no, but she wants to see Dylan, hoping Dylan's there. Unfortunately, guys, when Millie goes to the school party, Dylan is there, but he's with another girl. Okay, and they're holding hands and they're laughing and they're hugging and stuff and they're joking around. So they are a couple. So Dylan does have a girlfriend and her name is Brooke. A very pretty blonde girl, the complete opposite of Millie, okay? So Millie is a goth girl, dark, black hair, Brooke is blonde, pretty, and Dylan, that's Dylan's girlfriend, okay? And obviously, Millie is heartbroken now, and Millie goes to her grandpa, like, I want to go home now, take me home. And she goes back home, guys, and her bad thoughts are back again. She's back to being sad and miserable, and back to the thoughts of death and saying, death is my only friend. So, yeah, it's pretty sad, isn't it? She was starting to get happy. Dylan made her happy. And then, oh, snap, yikes, Dylan's got a girlfriend. And it gets worse, guys, in a minute. Back to Funtime Freddy, guys, the present time. Another torture device that Funtime Freddy suggests is being boiled to death. Funtime Freddy can fill his chest cavity with water and heat the water up and boil Millie alive. And he even says, maybe I can turn you into a red like a lobster. Damn. So yeah, Funtime Freddy suggests to Millie, maybe you can be boiled alive inside my chest. Jesus. Back to the past, guys. Now this is the big ouch, yikes. So Dylan comes back to Millie at the cafeteria like every other day. And this is the day after Millie sees Dylan with the girlfriend. So Millie is obviously very annoyed. Really annoyed and jealous and like says to Dylan's like, what's wrong? And Millie's like, oh, I didn't know you had a girlfriend, and very judgy towards Brooke. Millie calls Brooke basic. She's not different like me, stuff like that. And obviously Dylan gets annoyed by that. Dylan's like, oh, I didn't mean to mess you around. I wasn't seeing it like that. All I did was get you a book as a friend. I wasn't leading you on or anything. And that's what friends do. They be nice to each other. And Dylan is very angry with her for saying something bad to his girlfriend and says, this friendship is over, goodbye. Leaves Millie, calls Millie a hypocrite. And yeah, that's the end of the friendship. So yeah, obviously Millie is now even more sad, okay? And yeah, like I said, guys, it's close to Christmas. Millie is now the Grinch. Now, guys, think of the Grinch. Millie now hates Christmas. Bad things are happening. She doesn't want to celebrate Christmas. She's very unhappy. Seeing other people happy makes her miserable. She thinks Christmas is just fake and, stupid. So yeah, Millie doesn't want to celebrate Christmas. That's the reason, guys, why she goes inside the workshop to hide, because she doesn't want to celebrate at the Christmas party, okay? Back to Funtime Freddy. Millie wants to live. She talks about saying, oh, I want to live. I really want to live now. And the next the next way of death, guys, that Funtime Freddy suggests is decapitation. Sensitive warning, guys. It gets deep, okay? You know what decapitation is. Beheaded, okay? Really dark stuff, okay? So, again, Funtime Freddy knows everything about decapitation. Henry VIII, a very old king, guys, in Great Britain. Our history is really good, by the way, guys, because we've got like thousands of years in the UK of kings and queens. Henry VIII was a big one with the guillotine. The guillotine, guys, from films and stuff, from history. You get put in a device, head, and then a big blade goes chop. Head falls off, gets put into a basket. You know the drill, a guillotine. Okay? Knows all about it, guys. Knows all about Henry VIII. Knows about how the French Revolution people used it. And they beheaded a bunch of soldiers one by one. Because the blade was that good, it could just chop people's heads off all the time. Talked about how some guillotines aren't that sharp. And one of Henry VIII's wives, who got the head chopped off, the blade was too blunt, so they had to keep doing it up and down to chop it off. And he goes into detail about that, man. It's really dark. And he knows about her parents, Millie's parents, being in Saudi Arabia. And he talks about how Saudi Arabian people still use decapitation as a punishment. But not with a guillotine, but with swords. It's so weird how Funtime Freddy knows all this stuff. It's horrible. Very, very horrible, guys. How Funtime Freddy's just so obsessed about death and like, oh, Saudi Arabia, they use swords. For a punishment still. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice. This is the details that you need to know, okay? We're back in the past. And this is the scene where Millie goes into Funtime Freddy, okay? So the Christmas party has begun. It's Christmas Eve, which is really sad. All the family come over to the grandpa's house. Millie is not happy. Millie doesn't want to celebrate Christmas, just like the Grinch. Is miserable. Is not very loving towards the family, doesn't want to be there. Her auntie and uncle want to give her a hug and she's like, no. Doesn't want to drink any eggnog. Millie says she can't take it anymore, she needs to go on a walk. So she does, guys. She does go on a walk. And now Millie's attitude, guys, is very ignorant. She's in denial about Dylan and Brooke. She's like, oh, Dylan can go with Brooke anyway. You know, I'm right, he's wrong. She is basic. What I said was right. I don't care. I hate Christmas. I don't want to be with my family, you know. So she's being very selfish at the moment, okay? And when she's walking around, she gets cold, guys. And she's like, oh, I can't just keep walking around. I'm freezing. I have an idea. I'm going to go into my grandpa's workshop. He always leaves a key outside the garage. So I'm going to get the key and go inside. Because inside my grandpa's workshop, he has a heater. He has a heater inside the workshop that he always keeps on. So I'll be nice and warm. They'll never know I'm in there. I'm just going to hide in his workshop for a few hours until the party's over. And then I'll go back in and be happy again. You know, it's over now. It's done. Christmas is done for now. So she goes into the garage, guys. And there's a lot of junk, yard sale stuff from flea markets. And like the grandpa likes to go and get parts and stuff to repair, guys. He likes repairing things to add to his collection. Mechanical toys, dolls, monkey symbols. And obviously Millie's like, oh, he's got all this stuff because he likes repairing to keep them into his collection. And she's looking around the garage, guys, the workshop, when she goes in. And in the corner, Funtime Freddy's there, okay? We know it's Funtime Freddy because of this description that I'm going to read to you now off in a list. A mechanical bear with a bow tie and a top hat and a creepy blank grin. Once, it looked like it was white and pink. But now, because it's been in the salvage yard for a while, it's left a dingy grey. So it's lost its pink and white. It's now just, you know, a miserable grey colour. It was big. Big enough for a person to climb into its body cavity. So she sees Funtime Freddy there. Big, huge guy. She can crawl inside. She's 14, so she's technically a kid still. And so she can get inside. And this is what she says, guys. It must have been a figure from one of those old kids attractions that featured creepy looking animatronics. Interestingly though, she never talks about Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, but she knows about it. She knows about an old kids attraction that featured creepy looking animatronics, okay? But she never says Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So I don't know. They probably don't have a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria where she lives, guys. I don't think so. She'd know instantly if it was Freddy, you know. When she's looking around, guys, and looking at Funtime Freddy, she hears the family getting closer to the garage, you know, with the loud music and stuff. And she's worried that they're going to come inside and find her. So she goes inside Funtime Freddy to hide, okay? She crawls inside Funtime Freddy, all in, snuggled up, closes the chest cavity door, and now she's inside Funtime Freddy, okay? And it cuts to the family. The family's having dinner and stuff, and they don't know where she is. But the grandpa's like, oh, she's fine. She's gone on a walk. I know what she's like, because that's what Millie's always been like. I know what she's like. She's fine. She doesn't want to come to dinner. Let's just leave her to it. Don't worry about it. She'll be back later on. So now we're back at the end. This is the end point of the story. All of this that you hear now is at the end. We're back in the present time with Funtime Freddy, okay? We don't know how long Millie has been inside Funtime Freddy, but we know that she woke up. So the point where she went into Funtime Freddy, she must have fell asleep or something, or she was put to sleep somehow. And she's woke up, and all of that stuff where Funtime Freddy was talking about torturing and stuff, that was the present time, okay? And now we're back at the present time. So, talking about decapitation, guys, we're still going on with that now. Anytime I say Funtime Freddy, that's all at the present time, okay, guys? So all of the conversations about each way of death, there's not been a time jump in that. It's always been one conversation, but in between that, there's been cuts of Millie's past tense, you know, to give some more information about Millie. Funtime Freddy says that he has a sharp sheet of metal that he can easily pass through his chest cavity and cut Millie's head off. I'm not kidding, guys. He says that, okay? Again, he goes into detail, the different option of what could happen. The sheet of metal can either chop her head off through her neck and kill her instantly, or it can chop her the wrong way. It could chop her here or something, or here, and it would be a slow, painful death. Okay? Again, Funtime Freddy's talking about options on what could happen. He even says, guys, that this is his first attempt of decapitation. So Funtime Freddy has never done this way before of death. It looks like he's done the other ways of death before, though, because he says, oh, I could starve you to death. I could bore you to death. I could freeze you to death. I could electrocute you. He never says it was his first time in those, which we'll talk about the lore part after, okay? The lore about this. Funtime Freddy has never used this method of death before, okay? He's going to get a sheet of metal from his chest cavity and cut her head off, okay? Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And while Funtime Freddy's still looking at her from above, you know, the eyes are still looking at her, she sees a gap in the chest cavity, a little bit of light coming out the chest cavity, and she thinks, I could get out of this, you know. I could get out of this. She looks around like a way to open it more. She finds she's got a bracelet on. She gets the bracelet and bends it so she can try and open it up, but she decides not to because Funtime Freddy's watching her. Okay, so while Funtime Freddy's talking and stuff and watching her, she gets the bracelet off, like secretly, and gets ready to escape. But she decides not to. Because Funtime Freddy's just watching her. She can't do it. While Funtime Freddy's watching her, guys, she can't do it. There's no way. And Funtime Freddy's starting to get impatient now with Millie. He's like, a decision must be made. You need to decide what to do now. And in her brain, guys, she talks about how maybe she could live from this. So Funtime Freddy, when he puts the sheet of metal through his stomach to chop her head off, she could maybe go like this and duck down to dodge the blade. She thinks about it. She's got, I could do that actually. I could duck and dodge the blade and then escape. I can do this. And she actually does ask to be let go. And obviously Funtime Freddy says no. Of course he does. Millie goes, okay, decapitation it is. Decapitate me. Do it. Let's go. And that's my choice. That's how I want to die. And Funtime Freddy's really happy now. He's pleased with a choice. Like, yeah, this is my first time. I'm going to do it. Let's go. So his eyes roll forward now. So his eyes are gone now. Not looking at her. His eyes roll forward to prepare to get the sheet of metal to kill Millie. And this is a perfect time for Millie to escape. Funtime Freddy's gone now. He's not watching. She can try and get out. But she doesn't. She doesn't escape. And she thinks about what she's done and how she's always wanted to live. And when she gets out, she wants to apologise to Dylan and, you know, be friends again. But she doesn't have time, okay? So straight away, guys, Funtime Freddy's back. And it's time for the execution. And it's so weird, guys. So Millie knows what's going to happen now, guys. It's going to happen. So Millie curls up into a ball to try and dodge the sheet of metal that's going to happen. And Millie's like, can you do a countdown, please, before you do it? So that gives time for Millie to prepare to, you know, try and dodge it as much as possible, you know. And Funtime Freddy agrees, okay? And then Funtime Freddy starts acting like an executioner at a trial. I'm not even kidding. I'm going to read some stuff for you. How he is, guys. It's really weird. It's horrible. I feel really sorry for Millie. Millicent Fitzsimmons, you are hereby sentenced to die for crimes of humanity. Wait, Millie said. What does that mean? Crimes of humanity. You, the voice said, have been rude and quick to anger. You have rushed to the judgment of others. You have been insufficiently grateful to those who have shown you nothing but love and kindness. The voice was right. Different incidences of her own rudeness and ingratitude played in her head like scenes from a movie she didn't want to see. Guilty as charged, Millie said. But why are those crimes I have to die for? Those are crimes that everybody's guilty of from time to time. True, the voice said. That's why they are crimes of humanity. But if there's something all humans are guilty of, then why do I have to die for them? The voice didn't answer, and Millie felt a small tingle of hope. Maybe she wouldn't have to take her chances by curling up on the floor of the cavity. Maybe she could talk herself out of this. Because, the voice said, you're the one who crawled into my belly. Whimpering, Millie made herself as small as she possibly could in the bottom of the cavity. If she got out, she was going to make it a point to be nicer to Grandpa. He really had been good to her, taking her in and putting up with her moods and teaching himself how to cook all those vegetarian recipes. In the spirit of the French Revolution, the voice said, I will now do a countdown in French before releasing the blade. 1, 2, 3. Quick as a shot, the blade sliced through the chamber. So, that was all red, guys. You can see how fun Time Freddy is, okay? Very jokey and weird. Like, I talked about the French Revolution with the guillotines. He did the countdown in French to kill Millie. And it ends with, guys, Grandpa with a plate of sugar cookies on the table. And Grandpa tries to call Millie's number, but the phone is in the house in a jacket, so she didn't bring a phone with her. And the Grandpa's a little bit worried, but not too worried yet. It hasn't been that long, I don't think, by the looks of things. It looks like Millie was only unconscious for like, a couple of hours or something, because it's still on the same night, okay? And it ends, guys, with a cliffhanger. We don't know if Millie died or not. We don't know. It looks like that she did, okay? Because it ends on a cliffhanger. Unless they talk about Millie coming back later on. We don't know. We really don't know if Millie died or not. If she survived, I'm pretty sure it would have been mentioned in the story. It would have said, the blade sliced through the chamber. Millie looked up, noticing she's still alive. She escaped the chest cavity and Funtime Freddy chased her and she escaped. Something like that. But the way they end it, guys, it seems like Millie died. And it ends with this. Do you think we should wait for Millie? The auntie asked. She's not celebrating Christmas, remember? Uncle Rob said. Why should we wait for her if she's decided to be a brat? Grandpa didn't like the word brat being used to describe Millie. She wasn't a bad kid, she was just at a difficult age. She would come around. He crouched under the Christmas tree and arranged all her presents in a big pile so they'd be there for her when she came back. Very sad, guys, honestly. That's really sad. Her grandpa loved Millie. Always cared about her and understood her. And he put her presents in a pile waiting for her when she comes back. Not knowing that Millie is probably dead, chopped up inside Funtime Freddy's stomach in the workshop. Yikes. Big yikes, guys. And that's the end of the book, guys. That's the end of Count the Ways, okay? So, yeah, let's do a quick summary. So, as you can see from the plot, it moves from 2 points in time, okay? A point in time before she gets trapped inside Funtime Freddy, and the point in time when she is inside Funtime Freddy, okay? So all you need to know, guys, as a quick summary, okay, without any lore, Millie, obsessed with death, you know, always is obsessed with death. She's not happy. She's moved in with her grandpa, who's obsessed with repairing things and stuff. But then she meets a boy called Dylan, who she falls in love with. She starts getting happy, not obsessed with death anymore, doesn't want to die. But then she sees Dylan has a girlfriend. She gets brokenhearted, and she loses Dylan as a friend as well. And she hates. It's at a time set at Christmas. So then she turns into the Grinch. She's not happy about Christmas. She hates Christmas. Her grandpa has a party with all the family, her auntie and uncle and cousins. She doesn't want to attend the party. She hides inside the grandpa's workshop. She sees Funtime Freddy, and she goes inside Funtime Freddy's chest to hide inside, and she's trapped inside Funtime Freddy now. Okay? Funtime Freddy, Millie wakes up. Funtime Freddy's now activated. Funtime Freddy is now looking at her inside of the chest cavity. Okay, darkness. All she can see is the blue eyes looking down at her. And Funtime Freddy is going to kill her. Funtime Freddy talks about different ways for her to die in great detail. Starvation, dehydration, freezing her to death, boiling her to death, impaling her with rods, chopping her head off, chopping her up into little pieces. And he goes into great detail about the history, electrocution, you know, talks about the French Revolution on how they used decapitation to kill people, and electrocution with the electric chair, and detail about being dehydrated, how the organs shut down and it's a slow and painful death. He gives Millie a bunch of options on how to die. Okay? Funtime Freddy wants to kill Millie, and he's going to enjoy it. He's excited about it. He's giggling and stuff, and it's really horrible. And obviously Millie doesn't want that to happen, but they talk about each way to die, and Millie decides for the decapitation, because she thinks she can escape. If she ducks down from the big sheet of metal that's going to come straight through Funtime Freddy's chest to kill her, Millie can escape it and escape. If she crouches down enough, she will escape. And the big metal sheet comes through Funtime Freddy's chest, and we don't know if Millie died or not. We don't know. But I'd say there's a big possibility that she did die, because nothing comes on after that, okay? And it seems like the ending's quite sad, how the grandpa arranged the presents to be ready. Pretty sure, guys, Millie died, okay? She got chopped up. Really gruesome. Horrible. And Funtime Freddy is really horrible in this story, guys. You know, very, very horrible. I don't like him, actually. I'm scared of Funtime Freddy from this story. Obviously, Funtime Freddy is horrible in Sister Location and FNAF 6 when he's Molten Freddy. You know, he tries to kill the Night Guard and stuff, but the way he's killing Millie in this is really horrible. And the way he knows on how to kill people, which I'll talk about the lore bit now. But yeah, that's a quick summary, guys, okay? Let's talk about the lore. The only lore in this is Funtime Freddy, okay? Funtime Freddy was found in a scrapyard in this story, okay? And he's withered and old. His colours are faded, but he's still active and can work. And it's definitely Funtime Freddy, guys, from the appearance I said. He was pink and white, top hat, you know, bow tie. Bonbon isn't mentioned, interestingly. Bonbon isn't his hand puppet. No mention of Bonbon, but the chest cavity is, okay? So the chest cavity is a big thing in Sister Location, the blueprints here. The Sister Location animatronics, we theorise, and it's pretty obvious, we used to trap kids inside the stomachs to kill, okay? They are William Afton's blueprints. William Afton designed these animatronics in Sister Location. The Funtime animatronics were designed to lure and kill kids, okay? Either to kill them instantly when they're trapped inside the stomach, or to trap them and then to be taken down into the Sister Location deep underground and then killed. One of the two, okay? And we know this because in the blueprints, guys, you can see a kid trapped inside the stomach, okay? And the blueprints talk about luring kids and everything. The Funtime animatronics were designed to kill kids. It's as simple as that. And that's what happened to Elizabeth Afton. William Afton's kid. William Afton always warned Elizabeth to stay away from Baby if she's alone. Never go to Baby alone. Elizabeth does, and Elizabeth gets killed. We know that, okay? So the Sister Location animatronics were designed and programmed to kill kids. Whether they liked it or not, they were programmed to kill kids. And Funtime Freddy is just the same, okay? So when Millie willingly crawls inside Funtime Freddy's chest, Funtime Freddy's amazed by it, you know. Funtime Freddy has been listening to Millie. Funtime Freddy's been there for a while, guys, okay, while Millie's been at the house. And he's been listening to what she's been doing and saying. Like, he knows that she wants to die, so this is Funtime Freddy's perfect opportunity to kill somebody again. Again. We know it's again, guys, because Funtime Freddy talks about all the executions that he knows about. And the only one that he said he's never done before is decapitation. Now, this is where things get really dark, guys. If this is connected with the game lore, the Sister Location animatronics are really bad, you know. We originally thought the Funtime animatronics just, you know, put the kids in the chest cavity, and that's pretty much it, you know. That's it. They don't get tortured or anything. But the way Funtime Freddy describes and knows about each way to die shows to me that Funtime Freddy has done this before and he enjoys it and he was programmed to do it. Think about this in the game lore, guys. Funtime Freddy, like, trapping a kid inside and boiling him to death, or freezing him to death, or impaling him to death, or starving him to death, or electrocuting the kid. It's really dark. Funtime Freddy in this story, guys, is very dark, and if this is connected and similar lore to the Sister Location game, if William Afton programmed Funtime Freddy to boil kids to death and know different ways to kill kids and people inside his chest cavity, William Afton is screwed up. The only other suggestion I have, guys, is that Funtime Freddy's got a mind of his own now and he's found other ways to kill people, and the original programming of the chest cavity was just to trap kids inside. But Funtime Freddy's found other ways, his AI programming has found other ways to kill kids. Then that's, you know, better for William Afton, of course, because William Afton's... the way I see William Afton now, he's crazy. If he programmed the animatronics to do stuff like that, screwed up, okay? So yeah, Funtime Freddy's chest cavity can do lots of things. He can electrocute kids, he can freeze kids to death, he can trap them in there for days, and he enjoys it. His eyes can roll back, and he can watch the kid inside the stomach, okay? And that's pretty much it about the lore, guys, for Funtime Freddy. Just more background information on what his chest cavity can do, okay? And it's pretty interesting, really dark though. And Funtime Freddy just has no sympathy. Just like Eleanor had. Like, the animatronics have no sympathy for the kids, you know. He doesn't even care. Like, Millie says that she doesn't want to die. But Funtime Freddy doesn't care. He wants to kill her, and he's going to kill her. And he just has no sympathy. No emotion. He doesn't care. His programming's just like, kill. When you get the chance, kill them. He doesn't do it quickly, does he? He talks about different ways for her to die, like he's enjoying it. So that's what's really, you know, sad, upsetting actually. One more thing I need to talk about, guys, is the Stitch Wraith story, okay? It's deep. I might do a separate video about this when I've got more information about the Stitch Wraith, okay? This is where things get really cool. So at the end of each book, guys, there's 3 stories, like I said, but at the end, there's a mini story, okay? A couple of pages, a few pages, about a character called the Stitch Wraith. There's a detective called Detective Larson. Okay, set the scene. New story now, guys. Ignore the one that we just did. Detective Larson is in a police office, okay? He's in an office. He's a detective. He's pretty miserable, guys. His wife's left him. He's had a divorce. You know, he's bored, okay? The chief comes in. Chief Monaghan comes in with an envelope, okay? And he goes, you need to look at this. Throws it on the table. It's about the Stitch Wraith. He goes, Detective Larson, got an envelope here. It's about the Stitch Wraith. Take it. I don't want to do this case. No one else wants to do it. It's a tough case, and I want your thoughts about it. Here's an envelope. It's all about the Stitch Wraith. The Stitch Wraith is an urban legend, Detective Larson says. So everybody around where they live locally knows about the Stitch Wraith. It's an urban legend. It's a myth. This character is just a myth, okay? But the chief says, not anymore. You heard the latest. Something was all over the news, guys, okay? And like I said, you need to read the book or watch my summaries, okay? Sarah, a local teen, disappeared a week before. Sarah. To be beautiful, Sarah, the girl who was with Eleanor, who turned into trash, disappeared, okay? The chief goes like, oh, there was a girl who turned into garbage right before the schoolgirls' eyes, okay? The schoolgirls report the problem to the police and go, oh, we've just seen Sarah turn into a garbage figure and run out the school. And it did really happen, guys. All of the schoolgirls who saw Sarah turn went to a psychologist and stuff for therapy, and that the psychologist said they're telling the truth. They did see a girl turn into garbage, a pile of scrap, and run out of the school. And people who have seen the Stitch Wraith have said the same thing to the psychologists, guys. Like, they have seen somebody called the Stitch Wraith roaming around the streets. The Stitch Wraith, guys, was a strange cloaked figure roaming around the street. So he had a cloak on, hidden away, called the Stitch Wraith. That was his nickname that people called him as the urban legend, the Stitch Wraith. Now, here's a description about the Stitch Wraith, guys, from witness reports inside the envelope, okay? He was a shrouded figure in a cape, cloak, or hooded cloak. He had a lurching walk, guys. He lurched around walking. He had an obsession with dumpsters and trash bins. And anytime somebody saw the Stitch Wraith, he was dragging garbage bags with him. Bags of garbage. Okay? He always carried garbage bags. He used to go around garbages and just pick things up, okay? And also inside the envelope, guys, was suspicious death reports. Local suspicious deaths. And here's an interesting one, guys. One of the suspicious deaths that's only briefly mentioned, guys, is 5 withered bodies with eyes that bled black down the sides of the face. 5 withered bodies is one of the suspicious deaths. 5 withered bodies. We know that from the lore, guys. 5 dead bodies. 2 of the 2 dead men had criminal histories. And Larson recognised one of them, and they thought that the 2 criminal men tried to mug the Stitch Wraith and try and steal his stuff, and the Stitch Wraith killed them both, okay? That's basically it. Nothing else about it for now, okay? This is a very brief story, guys, because it's not finished. At the end of every book, guys, this story here about the Stitch Wraith is going to continue in the next book. The Stitch Wraith story isn't finished. It's going to keep continuing after each story, okay? Now, also in the envelope, guys, were CCTV photos of the Stitch Wraith. Okay, details about the Stitch Wraith now, guys. Listen carefully. One of the pictures, guys, was a figure pulling out a mannequin torso from a dumpster. Okay, so the Stitch Wraith is collecting a mannequin part from a dumpster. The Stitch Wraith had a bulky white face. Okay, a white face. And the Detective Larson says it can't be human unless his face is wrapped in bandages. That is not a human face. It looked more like a mask. The mask was round, guys, and on the mask, it featured like thick black marker around the mask, like a child drew on it. And the mask had dark eyes, and one of the eyes looked blackened, more darker than the other one. And it had a terrifying mouth on the mask as well, with a missing tooth and something stuck on its remaining front teeth. And it looked like it had blood stains around his mouth as well. Okay? So it was a mask with black marker on it, 2 black eyes, and something stuck in its mouth with blood around it. And this is where it ends, guys, with a big cliffhanger, a good one. The chief says, "We've got a match of it. And you're not going to believe where we got it from." So they found a match of the same mask, okay? So they've seen the mask from the picture, but they found another mask similar to it, okay? And he says, "You're not going to believe where we found the match." Doesn't say where, but I'm pretty sure you guys know. It's going to be at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, okay? The mask is from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. That's why I was like, you won't believe where we got the match from it. It's because the mask is the same one as this mask that we found at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Okay? Simple as that. So my thoughts on the Stitch Wraith, guys, is I don't know what he is now. I don't know whether he's human or not. Because we don't know. It doesn't say he's got robotic parts on him or anything. It could be a robot. But he's definitely like a weird guy, and he's killed people, okay? This Stitch Wraith guy has probably killed those 2 criminals who tried to take his stuff. Hunched, he's wearing a mask, a FNAF mask, guys. He's wearing a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza mask, 100%. So he's got to be connected with the pizzerias, and he's collecting things. So he's collecting mannequin parts, scraps. My guess, guys, he's collecting animatronic parts or something, and he's keeping them with him. I don't know whether to make something, make an animatronic, or just collect parts. I don't know. But he's definitely a weird guy. I don't know who he could be. He can't be William Afton. He could be Michael. Could just be a new character altogether. We don't know yet. But guys, the next book, Fetch, which we will be reading, 3 new stories, and the final story continued from this one. We'll learn more about the Stitch Wraith later on. Okay, guys, 100%. And I'm excited. A mysterious figure wearing a FNAF mask roaming around the street collecting animatronic parts and killing people. I also liked it how Sarah was connected as well, so with the story. So this Stitch Wraith story is in the same universe as Sarah's and probably all the other 3 stories, okay? So the Stitch Wraith, like I mentioned ages ago, is connected to all these other stories, okay? They're all entwined in the same universe, and things will probably get more deep later on, okay? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been talking for ages, I know, but I had to talk about the Stitch Wraith story because that's really important, okay? But yeah, Count the Ways was very dark. Funtime Freddy is a very twisted animatronic and very creepy and very screwed up. and just some more lore about Time Freddy, guys, okay? Take care. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Into the Pit was really good. A nice kickstart. And apparently Fetch is even better. The next book is supposed to be really good, and I'm excited, okay? Take care. Lots of love. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you all next time.